Okay, we can go ahead and get started. My name is Rachel Mingus. I am the Senior Director of Operations over at ICUBA, and we're really glad you guys could all join today. We'd like to share some information with you about a proposed benefit that we'd like to add to the ICUBA offerings, but it is a more complicated benefit in nature, so we want to make sure that we do have interest from our membership before we launch a benefit like this. So we do have James Dawson here from Explain My Benefits to go through the benefit for you today and walk you through the plan and how it will work. James Dawson is with Explain My Benefits, and you might recognize that name. We use them as our enrollment firm every year, and they assist with one-on-one enrollment consultations during an open enrollment period. So he is very fluent in all things benefits, especially this CHUBB benefit that he will be introducing to you today. We do have all of the lines muted for this webinar, and we do have the chat box open. So we ask that you direct any questions that you might have during the session using that chat box, and we'll be sure to answer them during the session, and also we'll have a question and answer following the session. So please use that chat box, but be aware that it is a public chat box. So please don't submit any personal questions, any personal issues that you might be having through that chat box. Make sure that the questions answered are for the good of the group. But with that, I will turn it over to James Dawson.
Thanks, Rachel. Good afternoon, everybody, and happy Friday. I'm happy to be here this afternoon to talk to you about the CHUBB lifetime benefit term with long-term care. This benefit is extremely unique in that it's a combination of two benefits in one. So you have the permanent life insurance component to it, and then you have the long-term care component. One thing that you'll hear me talk about a lot is the fact that this benefit will be offered as a guaranteed issue product, meaning that employees won't have to go through any medical underwriting or evidence of insurability to have coverage, which is extremely rare. If you go out in the market and you look for permanent life insurance or long-term care, or certainly the combination of both, it's full medical underwriting, blood, urine, full medical history, look back, and it can be extremely challenging to get a certain level of coverage and certainly to get the level of coverage that you're going to have, employees are going to have the ability to enroll in on a guaranteed issue basis. So that being said, I'll go ahead and move into some of the unique features of the plan. So the first bullet point here is the life insurance component. So it's a term to age 121. I don't know anyone personally that's 121 years old, so I think it's safe to say that this is a permanent life product. One of the features of the product is it's owned by the individual. So when an individual signs up for coverage, the rates never change. So they're guaranteed to stay at the same rate that they are for the duration of the policy for as long as they have the plan, which is different than the voluntary term life insurance that we normally see, where it's age banded and every 5 years you move up into a new age category and your premium increases. With the CHUBB benefit, you lock in at the rate that you sign up at. So if you decide to elect a $50,000 policy and your cost is $20 per month, you're going to pay $20 per month for the lifetime of the policy. That will never go up. It's guaranteed. The guaranteed premiums, I talked a little bit about that all the way to age 100. After age 100, there's no more need to have premium put into the policy. The benefit's just guaranteed after that. So the premiums would be paid up until age 100, and they would no longer have to pay any premiums after age 100. As far as the benefit goes, so the term component of the benefit, term always means it's guaranteed for a certain term. So the benefit, the original benefit that's elected, is guaranteed for the greater of 25 years or age 70, the greater of. After that, there's the potential that the benefit could decrease. It's based on certain factors that are going on in the market, whether it be interest rates or mortality assumptions. But CHUBB has never reduced benefits before. It's unlikely that they're going to do so anytime in the near future. So I think it's safe to say that, hey, 25 years or age 70, the greater of, and then after that, there is a potential for a decrease. It's never happened before. But even if it does decrease, it's guaranteed to never be less than 50% of the original face value. So there's always that guaranteed death. benefit component, even after the initial 25 years or age 70, is guaranteed to never be less than 50%. And that's if there is a reduction, which we don't see anywhere in the near forecast. As the premiums are paid into the policy, there are premiums that are set aside as paid up benefits. So as premiums are paid into the policy, they also start accruing and are applied towards a paid up policy that can be applied after 10 years of premium being paid into the policy. So for example, if I elect a $50,000 benefit and I pay premiums into the policy for 10 years, after 10 years, I'd have the ability to stop paying premiums completely and just take a reduced life insurance benefit. So it's if I pay for 10 years into the plan and I retire and I no longer want to pay into the policy and I took that $50,000 face value coverage 10 years prior and I no longer want to pay premium into it, perhaps my benefit now is $15,000. So I have a guaranteed $15,000 benefit for the rest of my life, and I no longer have to put premiums into it. So it's a really unique feature, and that comes with that individual ownership of the policy. If a member decides to leave ICUBA or retire, nothing changes with the benefits other than it's no longer payroll deducted. So the member would pay direct to CHUBB through an ACH transfer with the bank, and nothing changes with the benefits. So the face value stays the same, the cost stays the same. If there's family coverage, that stays the same. So it's fully portable, fully individually owned, and is a great way to secure that financial stability with life insurance by having complete ownership of it and not run the risk of later on as you age up, it just becomes too expensive. You age up into a category where it's too expensive. The cost for this never changes, whether you're an ICUBA member or whether you leave ICUBA or retire. Three of the unique features on here, and so I just talked about the life insurance component. There's also the long-term care component. And what triggers a long-term care claim is two things. The first being a loss of 2 of the 6 activities of daily living. And those 6 activities of daily living are bathing, so being able to take a bath or a shower by yourself, dressing, getting up in the morning and getting dressed, transferring, so being able to move from one place to another without assistance, eating, so being able to cook and eat on your own, toileting, being able to use the bathroom by yourself, and then the 6th activity of daily living is continence, which is the self-control of your bladder or bowel function. So losing 2 of those. Typically, if you lose 1, you're also going to lose 2, and that would trigger that long-term care claim. The other side of it is the loss of severe cognitive impairment. So I always use Alzheimer's as an example. So the bodily function is still there, but the mind, it makes it unable for the individual to be able to get through a normal day without assistance. So those are the 2 triggers. Obviously, there's different levels of long-term care treatment. The first is the at-home, so having someone come into your home on a part-time basis. And just to give you an example, that can be anywhere from $50 to $75 per day to have a nurse or a long-term care individual come into your home to be able to assist you with your activities of daily living that you lost. So $50 to $75 per day for the at-home. Having a community-assisted living facility can be anywhere from $150 to $200 per day, depending on how many hours that day are needed for care. And then there's the nursing home, where it's 24/7 care, and that can be upwards of $300 to $350 per day, depending on the facility and the location. So very, very hefty expenses for long-term care, and having that long-term care insurance gives the individual protection from having to deplete their assets or putting the burden on a loved one or a family member to have to take care of them, because the reality is they can't take care of themselves at that point. Someone needs to step in and do it. They don't have long-term care insurance and they can't afford the care to assist them. It usually falls on a family member or somebody to be able to do that, which causes them to change everything in their life to be able to step up and take that on. So having long-term care insurance is really, really important. And the fact that this product is coupled with that permanent life really even makes it better. a lot of products in the market that are the combo of life insurance or long-term care are typically one or the other. And I'm going to move over here to the restoration of death benefit. So in some situations, if you have a life insurance with a long-term care and you use the long-term care, it totally depletes the life insurance benefit. So you use the long-term care, and if you use the whole amount that you have, you no longer have a life insurance benefit. CHUBB plan is very unique in that it actually restores the life insurance benefit up to a certain amount if you use the long-term care. And on the next screen, it actually shows some examples that paint a better picture. But just know that even if you use the full amount for long-term care, you're still guaranteed to have a life insurance benefit always, which is super unique and really one of the main reasons that ICUBA has selected this product over others in the market, because just having that restoration benefit really gives that extra level of protection that this is true long-term care and true life insurance, and they work together, but you're always guaranteed to have both life insurance and long-term care. And then lastly is the accelerated death benefit for terminal illness. So if there's a condition that's so severe that a physician diagnoses as that the member or the insured is going to pass away somewhere in the next 12 months, so the condition is going to have a impact on the life expectancy somewhere in the next 12 months, the insured can actually take out 50% of the life insurance benefit to use however they want. So maybe they have always wanted to take a trip, or they need to apply the money towards something, or they want to put it in a kids or grandkids fund or something along those lines. They can do whatever they want with that 50% of the death benefit that they take out. So that's a unique feature as well. If they know that they're going to pass away somewhere in the next 12 months, they can take 50% of that face benefit amount and use it however they please. Here are the scenarios that I talked about. So there's really three scenarios that are laid out here. Scenario one is just the life insurance benefit. So if an insured lives a full life and they never need the long-term care component and they pass away and they had a $100,000 face value benefit, their beneficiary is going to get the full $100,000. So it's just the life insurance benefit that's paid out to the beneficiary. Scenario two is the combination of long-term care and the death benefit. So an insured uses a portion of the benefit for long-term care. So they incurred $48,000 in long-term care expenses, and then they're left with the $52,000 life insurance benefit. So that total of $100,000, $48,000 to long-term care, $52,000 to the life insurance death benefit. And then the last one is that restoration benefit. So in this situation, the long-term care benefit, they used $100,000, so that full face value they used for long-term care. But remember, that restoration benefit builds that life insurance benefit back up to 50% of the original policy. So that'll restore $50,000 of the life insurance benefit for a total of $150,000 total benefit between the long-term care and the life insurance. So those are really the three scenarios. There's the life insurance, there's the combination of the death benefit and long-term care, and then there's the full usage of long-term care and the restoration of the $50,000 death benefit. Here's a quick example that shows sample face values by age. So we've got a $10,000, $25,000, $50,000, and $100,000 face value. And then the number on the other side, so the 400 and 1,000, is the long-term care benefit. So the long-term care benefit pays 4% of the face value of the policy up to 25 months. So at the $10,000 benefit, it would be $400 a month. 25,000 would be $1,000 a month. 50,000 would be $2,000 a month, and the 100,000 would be $4,000 a month. And each of those long-term cares would pay long-term care benefits would pay up to the 25 months if needed. The last slide, I'm gonna talk about this top part right here, and I hit on this at the beginning, but I just want to talk about the importance of it a little bit more, and that's the guaranteed issue eligibility component for this benefit. So like I said, if a member is looking to diversify their portfolio, and any financial advisor that you meet with will talk about the importance of having term life insurance, which is what is provided through CHUBB now, and permanent life insurance, having ownership of that permanent life insurance. Even permanent life insurance by itself requires full medical underwriting, blood, urine, full medical history evaluation, and the long-term care component even brings more into that. We'll even look at family history and that sort of thing. So having the ability to get the permanent life insurance individually owned by the member and the long-term care insurance on a guaranteed issue basis is extremely rare. In fact, I'd say that this is probably the only time in the member's lifetime that they're going to be offered this benefit, because it just doesn't exist in the individual marketplace. It has to be offered through the employer. And so it's an extremely rare opportunity for them to get this coverage on a guaranteed issue basis. No medical underwriting, no medical questions, no blood, urine, no medical history. So it's a really, really good opportunity for them to take advantage of this type of benefit. And then lastly, there's a survey here that goes through some of the information that I just talked about. Please have your Blue Cross Blue Shield ID card and member ID handy. Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button there. Just gonna pull that back up. There we go. Please have your Blue Cross ID card, member ID handy before attempting the quiz. Satisfactory score of 80% or higher is required for on-site event incentives. All quizzes must be completed by Friday, May 7th, 2021, and will be credited in Rally by May 30th, 2021. And so with that, I'll hand it back over to Rachel and see if anybody has any questions or would like me to review something in greater detail. I'd be more than happy to do so.
Thank you, James. And I got one question in the chat box, but I already answered it. Unless we have other questions, please feel free to use this time as appropriate and ask away any questions that you might have as it relates to the life insurance or the long-term care component of this new potential offering. ICHUBB, again, is really excited to bring this to our members, and we are looking at this as a prospective benefit to add to our portfolio. So when you complete that quiz shown on the screen here, there will be a few interest collecting questions. So what those questions are doing is getting a feel for what our membership thinks of a benefit like this, and if you would find value in it. If a benefit like this is launched, we will be definitely using the Explain My Benefits team to review this benefit in detailed one-on-one sessions with each of our members that's interested in adding this to your benefits portfolio. And those one-on-one question sessions with Explain My Benefits, if we move forward with this benefit, can be used to drill down on more of those personal questions if you have them. This session will be recorded and is being recorded and will be made available after probably early next week. So there's a person in the chat that joined a few minutes late, so this one will be available for review again. One of the questions that we had yesterday was related to the cost of the benefit, and James does a really good job of mentioning that the cost will never increase. But James, if you could just go back a few slides on that cost, the sample cost slide. Just to reiterate, the sample cost, the cost that you're locked in at, like, so if you are 35 years old and you purchase the $25,000 plan with $1,000 of a monthly long-term care benefit, you will be locked into that $16.56 for the life of the policy. And if you ever leave your institution, that policy is yours to take with you. That was something that we really reviewed and had some questions on during the session yesterday. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys, because that is really, really special about this policy. That's different than the supplemental life policies that we offer. The supplemental policies are those voluntary life insurance policies, and they typically go up every 5 years. So if you have hit a 45, 50, 55, 60, you'll see your life insurance gradually increasing over time. the really cool thing about this policy is that you are definitely locked into the rate at the age in which you purchase. We do not have any questions coming in through the chat. So James, did you have anything else to add?
I do not.
I think you did. I think you did a really thorough job.
All right, thank you.
We will go ahead and leave the chat box open, but if there are no questions, we will go ahead and you guys can start dropping. We will keep the chat box open for a few minutes unless everybody drops, and then we will end the call. Thank you very much for your time, and if you are looking for Rally credit, make sure to complete that survey. If you want to flip back to the last slide, James. Yes, this is going to be available in a recorded session as well. All right, well, with that, we've got quite a few members dropping or participants dropping from the call, and we will go ahead and end this session. Thank you very much for joining, and please remember to complete the survey shown on the screen. And again, this session is being recorded, so we will be sure to share the link shortly with your HR department. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.